Greetings! Today I have for you another resin adventure. It was requested for me to go over some opacity rules, sort of, more like guidelines or stuff like that. This is going to be kind of an experiment because I'm doing a lot of these things only in theory, but as a general rule, stuff that is too opaque will not cure because light can't get through it of your UV resin to cure, which, if I hadn't mentioned it, I'm using UV resin. I went over this brand called Solaris, and I just bought a giant-ass can of it because it was more economical that way, and I'll probably use it anyway, so this video is going to go over some of the opacity guidelines when it comes to UV casting, and even that little crinkly bit. I'm going to try something, and you're going to bear witness to it to see if it actually works. But I have a theory that to avoid the crinkly edges, using some gel top coat might help in between layers. So anyway, I have a little bit of resin in here, which looks blue to me. I don't know what is up with that, but we're going to use that. And the general rule for mixing your pigments in there is to make sure it's transparent, and then you build layers up from it. So I have some black mica powder from a billion years ago. Coastal Scents. Back when Coastal Scents actually sold pigments, I am so pissed off that they don't sell pigments anymore, but, I mean, I suppose I could buy their eyeshadow kits and stuff, but, anyway. Where was I going with this? Where is my mixing stick? Okay. So, I'm going to start off with a little bit, because you can always add more, and you can also add more resin if you put too much in there. So, I have quite a fair bit amount of resin in here, which is probably way too much from the projects, but I was trying to transfer it to a smaller squeezy bottle, but that adventure did not happen in that giant tin. This tin is like this big. You see how big this tin is? This tin is big. This tin is big. Because I'm a moron. Anyway. So, I am mixing my powdered pigment in here, and you can use powdered or liquids. I haven't done too many experiments with liquids just yet. If you would like me to do more in depth on that, I will be sure to experiment. Or we can experiment together, and I could just show you my failures, because that's what I'm pretty good at. So, I'm gonna mix. And still see that the pigment is not incorporating nicely. It will take a while. Okay, I think that's going to incorporate as much as I am going to let it. But basically, when we dunk the stick in, we can still see the stick through it, except for the parts where the mica pigment kicked on. But we basically want it transparent, so the light still gets through. Then I'm going to transfer it into my mold, but I'm going to put in a little bit. I'm going to drizzle it on the bottom, because that's generally where I want my pigment to be. I'm going to kind of try and keep it in the same area. Like that. Push it down a little bit. Doesn't matter too much, because everything's going to blend. And you can kind of see light still passes through that. So, I'm going to go ahead and cure this. And I'm going to let it go and let it crinkle. And we'll see if my theory about gel polish works between layers. While I'm waiting for that to cure, I'm going to rant about the cloudiness. I'm not sure. The first time I used this, it was nice and clear and such. And now it's just kind of between layers that I crinkle, because this is like 3 or 4 layers. It's now turned a bit cloudy, and you totally cannot see. If I had something white, that might work. It's not clear. You still can't freaking see that. You can't see what I see. Camera, how dare you? Alright, well, fuck that idea, and we'll just, you know, watch my resin spill out of my cup, because apparently there was a hole in it. Lovely! I am just not having a good night. You can't even see this. Yep, there's a giant ass hole in there. I guess I'm getting another cup. So glad I decided to use this on a Silpat. Oh god, the smell. When I opened that can, it was like Satan's bowling alley exploded in my face. That was not pleasant. Alright, so now I have an appropriately crinkly surface. I'm going to try to fill those in with a coat of gel polish. This is just a $3 gel polish top coat I got on eBay. And we'll just flatten that down and see what happens. Great, now that I have Satan's freaking bowling team of fucking attacking my nostrils, now I have Satan's manicurist too. Wonderful. So let's cure that and see what happens. Because now I have a nice, smooth, glossy, shiny surface. Let's see if it stays. And we still have a shiny surface to work with, which is fantastic! So, from here I'm going to build on my second layer. I'm really shocked that this kind of works. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so I'm going to build my second layer, which has kind of started... Oh, okay. The bottom of this cup has completely dissolved. I guess this was not a clean cup. I think it still had some resin from the previous. Oh well. Science! Alright, so I'm gonna put on a smaller layer on again. We're gonna kind of push it down. Since this stuff is so liquidy, I'm only going to be able to do a gradient of 2. But you'll be able to see the effect because up to here, we have a darker side, and then up here, yes, it'll work. So back to curing. New low odor version. I think that's full of shit. It still smells pretty bad. Although admittedly not as bad as the previous ones that I've gotten before. I don't know, I can't compare. It still smells bad. I'm bored. I want to stop waiting for this thing to cure. Alright. That is what we've got. You can kind of see from the mold, we have some lighter things going on this half, some darker things going on this half. Now I'm going to build up one final layer, but before that I'm going to add my top coat and cure it again. Now one thing to keep in mind is that this stuff also shrinks slightly. Not a big difference, but you might still find that this is pulled apart and you'll have to watch out where you pour around in the areas, otherwise the next layer you put in might seep underneath, which isn't too big of a deal, but it just means you're going to spend a lot more time finishing pieces, and that is my least favorite part. I don't know about anybody else. So, yeah. Smooth once more. Oh, good lord. Oh dear, this cup appears to be, becoming eaten. Shit. Oh, that's melting. Okay. So either this is a cup that had resin in it from the 2-part cures that I've done before, or you're not supposed to use plastic cups with this kind of resin. Good to know. Isn't science fun? Alright, good to go, and I think I will be building... Is my cup already dissolving? Another layer to finish everything off. There we go. And for my next one, to use up the rest of this, I'm going to play a little bit more using clear to maintain a gradient. So I'm going to pour this on half of it. Then I'm going to take some clear stuff and make it go elsewhere. Yeah, that's what I thought. Really cool gradient effect. With that, you could even, let's drag it up and kind of mix it with some waves. That's spooky. Yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna do it again, because I have the rest of the stuff to use. the third. Just because this is cool. And I'm having fun. Do a lot of clear on that one. Alright, let's go cure this crap. While I Instagram my fails. Alright, so I'm making an ungodly mess all over myself. But hey, when has that stopped me? Doing things. Ugh, this little gummy. Gross. It's a fish. Or is it a penguin? I need sleep. Fuck. No. So this is what we have. I'm going to polish all of these and cure them again, because that's what I do. Alright, I think I'm gonna layer it again. And do the same thing with a little bit of black on the bottom of each of these. Whoa, whoops. A little too much. And then I'm just gonna pour the rest of it in here because I'm bored. And it may or may not cure, we'll see. Hopefully, since it's not so opaque, it won't, but hey. We'll figure it out. Toss them in here just in case and make some swirly cool patterns. Oh, whoops. Well, I suppose some of it already cured. Alright. So now some more curly, swirly patterns with the black. Whee! Whoosh. After another layer of gel polish, it is time for probably the most satisfying thing ever. And about 10 minutes of cool time, because these bitches were hot. Let us demold. Oh yeah, nice and smooth. Yeah. Ouch, they're still fucking hot. Ooh. Oh, these look so cool. Look at this. It's like a bunch of smoke. Oh, this technique is so freaking rad. I don't know if you can even see this because of all the shine and the glare. Now this one is the one that we did the transparency effect on it, and you can see, you can't see light behind it. Well, maybe a little bit, but it's considerably reduced. Like, you can't see... I can't see through it. But yeah, let's take a look at all of these. They're so cool! Look at that. It looks like there's a bug-eyed skull in there. That is amazing. Oh, this is fun, and I'm glad it turned out. And I'm really glad the nail polish worked. You can kind of see, if you look really, really close to it, that there's layers dividing this, but you really have to know what you're looking for in order to be bothered by it. But this is so cool! Oh my god! All this damn glare, you can't see the effects on it. Ugh. So did we learn anything today? I don't think so. I think for the most part it was me just fucking around, but I did troubleshoot the cloudiness issue with gradients between layers because of all that bubbling, and I fixed the curdling issue. Sort of. By fixed, I hid it using other means, but relatively inexpensive means and very little effort, so I think it's worth it. Yes. So we fixed the crinkly problems by using some UV gel top coat for nail polish. And we explored opacity with pigments, and we did some really cool spooky things with said pigments. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little experimentation. Thank you for joining me in my silliness. I don't know, I've been severely sleep deprived. My life is not nice right now, so I got to fuck around and it was fun. I think next time we're going to be exploring me flinging shit around. Rainbow gradients and pigments and stuff, and I think it'll be fun. And I really like this piece, even though it's got the cloudy effect. But yes, we also have some other exciting things. So next time I'm going to be fucking around with that, and we'll see what we come up with. So, I think that'll do it. I will probably be making an additional resin tips and tricks guide, probably focusing mostly on the UV stuff, because that's pretty much what I've been mostly using, because it's hard, it's polyester, and it doesn't yellow, because that really annoys me about epoxy. But anyway, I'm also probably going to be doing a resin series on Skillshare once I get a breath of air. So if you haven't joined me on Skillshare, I highly recommend. I will leave you some links down below, including a referral link for 99 cents on your first 3 months, which is pretty spiffy. And you can learn a lot of shit on there besides me rambling. Although I ramble in a slightly more orderly fashion on Skillshare. But anyway, I need to go to sleep because this is redonk. Thank you guys again for joining me. If there's any resin-specific tutorials that you would like me to see, other things you want me to explore with this resin, feel free to let me know. And of course, if there's anything I need to be trying out right now, feel free to leave me a comment down below. And I will see you next time. I'm gonna clean the crap off my hands. This poor cup, all it wanted to do was hold things.